Hi, this is Cheri. Thanks for joining me today on the webinar. I'm super excited to be here with you today and to share with you some really powerful information that can activate your life and jumpstart you into finding more passion, purpose, and possibility showing up in your life every single day. So are you ready to get unstuck? Awesome, let's dig in. In this webinar, I'm going to share a lot of great information with you. Everything I share here will be applicable in your life right away. So by the time this webinar is over, you can be on the road to creating a whole new story in your life. All you need to do is sit back, relax, and absorb it all. It's pretty likely that if you're here, you're dealing with something challenging in your life that has you feeling stuck or overwhelmed. But after this webinar, you will have the tools you need to move from stuck to unstuck and get your life back on track. I'm going to share with you the exact strategy that has worked for me and for hundreds of others on the steps to take to get unstuck and begin to activate your masterpiece life with a strategy that works. I'll show you how you can start living a life filled with passion, purpose, and possibility today without burning bridges, losing your steady income, or yourself. Because I don't want you to shortchange yourself in any way, and I really want you to get extra value out of this opportunity, if you stay until the end, I've got some super special offers for you and some great fast start bonuses that are going to catapult you into living life by your own design. So just for giving yourself the opportunity to hear the entire webinar today and getting a ton of value that can shift your life, I'm going to give you the first 5 modules to my proven 21-day lifestyle design audio program, Dream It, Live It, How to Create a Masterpiece Life One Dream at a Time. Plus, I'm not stopping there. I'm going to give you also a complimentary 45-minute jump starter session with me at no cost to you. So a little housekeeping, and first things first. In order for this time to deliver the maximum impact for you and for you to really get what's here, I need your attention. So please turn off your cell phone, close down Facebook and any and other tabs that are open on your screen, and get yourself present with us now. I want to invite you to close your eyes for a few moments, center yourself, and take a few breaths before we get started. Breathe in a state of rest and an openness to listening, and breathe out the stresses of your day. Especially breathe out the limiting stories of who you think you are and anything else that's lingering on your mind. I'd like for you to just take a few moments to really get present and relax. And in these few moments, tune in to slowing down your mind and your breath so that you can be aware and present and listening in a new way. Being stuck and the feelings of anxiety that it causes can really be a distraction to listening. So I want you to come back to that breath anytime throughout this webinar that you start to feel anxious, restless, or challenged in any way. If you're someone who is feeling stuck in your life and who's serious about getting lasting results, the next few minutes will change your life and open you to a whole new world of possibilities if you apply the principles I'm going to share with you. It's a guarantee. I'm telling you this because the principles I'm going to share have worked not just for myself, but for thousands upon thousands of others who have applied them. Beautiful. So we're all dropped in now, and I would love to just briefly introduce myself to you a little more formally before we get started. My name is Cheri Shanti. I activate women to create their life master plan by creating and implementing a successful exit strategy to help you to go from stuck to unstuck. And in the process, we ignite passion, inspire purpose, and open doorways to all kinds of new possibilities. As a lifestyle design expert and entrepreneur, I've published 3 full-length books, each on a different passion of mine. The first one was titled Muse Power: How Music Making Heals Depression and the Symptoms of Modern Culture. The second book is titled Dream It, Live It Now: How to Create a Masterpiece Life One Dream at a Time. And the most recent one that's coming out soon is entitled The Breath of Cuba: One Woman's Love Affair with the Magic, Music, and Men of Cuba. I'm the founder of the Wild and Wise Lifestyle for Women, and I'm also, obviously, a musician, drummer, and dream-building world traveler. I've been working with people for over 20 years in different environments, including retreat centers, community programs, private environments, using transformational personal growth programs that include music, arts, creativity, deep self inquiry, and nature based processing. I've been super blessed to travel the world sharing these passions with others. But what I can say to you is that I'm not that different from you. Just like you, I've had to go through challenging times where I feel stuck. So if you're feeling stuck, frustrated, or off track, or you're just feeling like life has pulled the rug out from underneath you, what I can tell you is that I can truly relate. In fact, it wasn't so long ago that I was feeling stuck in a life I hated. My life, as I'd known it previously, of traveling the world, sharing my passions, drumming, singing, doing all the fun things in life, was derailed completely. I felt like everything I had worked for had just dissolved at my feet, and everything I touched turned to ash. I didn't understand how my life had gone from being pretty darn amazing to super crappy in the matter of a year. It was like I was on a slow roller coaster in descent, and I can tell you that I went down kicking and screaming. That long downward spiral lasted almost 3 years before I was able to start the upward climb back to the world of possibility and joy again. I found myself feeling weak, confused, scared, and completely lost. And as a result, my business died because I didn't really have the mojo to go out there and share with anyone. I went completely flat ass broke at 43 years old, and I found myself feeling totally ashamed of my life, living in a tiny efficiency apartment, unable to make ends meet, feeling forced into working a job that I couldn't stand just to try to survive. At the same time, there was something going on in the background that caught me off guard. I was only 43. But I noticed that things were changing in my body and the way that I was thinking. I was having new patterns, new challenges, and what was really going on was menopause. It created a whirlwind within me that took me on an unforgettable journey of transformation that began in a complete belly flop of my life. The myth of menopause and the reality of menopause are entirely different things. Everyone talks about the hot flashes and jokes about it, but the truth is that no one had prepared me for the impact that it would have on my life. Menopause created its own whole world for me to navigate that included mental, physical, psychological, emotional, relational, and even spiritual obstacles for me to learn about in the transition. And until you've been through it yourself, you really have no idea how it's going to hit you. In today's fast-paced modern world, it's becoming more and more common for women to hit menopause at ever increasingly younger ages. So I say this only to invite you to be gentle on yourself. There's so many reasons that we can get stuck or derailed in life. And what's most important is knowing how to use those experiences as the fuel for getting unstuck and back on track. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So take another moment and close your eyes again and imagine what your life will be like when you have all that you need to get unstuck and activate your masterpiece with a strategy that actually works. When you are living a life that's filled with passion, purpose, and possibility, and everything you could ever want is finding you. Imagine how it would feel to never have to choose between money and meaning, that you can have both. Imagine knowing how to create a successful exit strategy from being stuck to unstuck and activating the life of your dreams without burning bridges, losing your steady income, or losing the connection with yourself. Imagine how it would be to know how to bounce back from rock bottom stronger than ever, and to truly let go of the past that haunts you with regrets. That's what we're up to today in this webinar. So can you imagine the difference it could make for you, for your family, and for your friends if you were able to really show up as the most powerful, engaged, inspired, and content version of yourself that you could possibly be? So imagine that, being unstuck. Take another pause right now and just really feel into what that would be like for you to be the most awesome version of yourself that you can possibly imagine. See yourself filled with joy, expressed, successful, filled with vitality, energy, enthusiasm, and energy. And just take a moment and feel into what that would feel like to be getting out of bed knowing that you have a purpose for your day and that your life is your design. Feel how good it would feel to know that everything you're up to in life is related to your ultimate vision for yourself, and it's all feeding you to live in a masterpiece of your own creation. I'm here to tell you that if you can see it, you can be it. Neuroscience is proving that whatever the mind can envision, it has the power to create. And it all starts right here with this little webinar where we're going to learn the first and most important building blocks to having access to that kind of personally generated power. So open your eyes and come back and listen to what I'm about to share with you. I'm no different than you. And I know there's a whole world outside of that. So pay attention, because if I was able to get unstuck and transform my life, you can do it too. And I'm here to be your ally on the path, every step of the way. So listen, I was able to break free from an abusive relationship, a job I hated, and to bounce back from a complete breakdown of my life on all fronts and recreate myself as a stronger, more empowered version of the woman I had known myself to be. I learned how to balance menopause's impact transition more peacefully through mindfulness, education, and lifestyle changes that supported my well-being and helped me to get balanced again. I broke free completely and permanently from the rat race, and I am now living on a comfortable passive income that has liberated me to be able to travel again whenever I want, wherever I want, and enjoy a relaxed lifestyle that suits my personality and disposition perfectly. My relationships and life have been transformed into joyous expressions of myself, my creativity, and my love for community and the arts. I'm running 2 successful businesses that are in alignment with my core values and life's design, and I'm inspiring women around the world to live wild and wise. And on top of that, miraculously, I always have time for myself and to enjoy the things that I need to enjoy to keep myself healthy. I take a lot of walks on the beach. I get up in the morning and create my day around the things that are most important to me rather than my work dictating my day. I transitioned from a full-time job to a passive income, working less than 40 hours a week, and I've got total freedom to do as I please. I work on my own schedule. So my life now is an expression of passion, purpose, and possibility every single day. And you can have it too. So it's important for me to tell you this. My results are not exactly typical. But anything that's worth anything in life requires effort and attention to grow and be nourished. Transforming your life isn't always going to be bluebirds and daisies, and sometimes it requires challenges that feel like setbacks. It also requires you to invest time, energy, and often money to learn new ways of being and develop new skill sets. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that I've been using for myself and for my clients to help you start today to activate your life's master plan and get unstuck. But please understand that my results are not typical because the average person who attends these trainings gets 0 results. It's not because the training isn't good. The training can be amazing, but it's because usually people don't actually apply the teachings in their lives. So that part is up to you. How much you get out of our time together is entirely up to you. Some people will leave this webinar and be on fire and start a whole new life. Everything will be manifesting in their world because they're just going to get it and get activated. Other people are going to need a little more assistance, a little more hand-holding, and some of you I know are going to get off this webinar and your lives will not change at all unless you really reach out for the support. So I'm happy to share with you for free exactly what's worked for me and for thousands of others around the world, and what I know can work for anyone who applies it in their lives with commitment. You see, what I'm going to share with you isn't just my personal experience and my personal philosophy. It's a system that I've come up with that condenses the knowledge and the wisdom of thousands who've come before me who've gone on a similar journey. And it's always up to us whether we want to try to learn things the hard way or whether we want to trust and learn from the experience of others and listen to what they have to say so that we can validate our own experience in that journey and also be supported. But what this is not is for people who want to get fixed quick. Anyone who isn't serious about transforming their lives from the inside out, this is probably not the right program for you. But this is for you if you're willing to open, listen, and truly apply the principles that I'm going to share with you in these 6 steps. So what we're going to cover are the following 6 steps. Step 1, accepting what is and trusting in the process. Step 2, stop the blame game. Step 3, commitment counts. No more excuses for you. Step 4, honoring the past and clearing the pathway. And step 5, dream seed cultivation. And finally, step 6, strategize for success, making a plan that works. Step 1, accepting what is and trusting in the process. This is my favorite step. Always, it seems the most challenging at the beginning. And as you practice these principles more and more, it becomes a little bit easier. So I want to invite you and just remind you throughout the webinar to stay connected with your breath. Whenever you need to just take a breath and close your eyes and just listen, please do that. It's really important that you stay present through this process so that you get all the information. So when we talk about acceptance, it's, as I said, the most important and sometimes the most difficult step, but a lot of times people think acceptance means just giving up, rolling over, playing dead, or continuing on like there's nothing that can be done about the matter. People assume wrongly on the same hand that trusting the process is like floating downstream without a paddle or an engine and hoping that you end up on dry land someday. But the truth is that accepting what is and trusting the processes of life has nothing to do with either one of those things. But it has everything to do with becoming a super powerful and responsive individual with your life. So what if every bump in the road and every upset that you've ever had could be, in fact, a powerful gateway to self-improvement rather than a failure or a total belly flop? What if your life is actually perfectly set up to launch you into worlds that you never even knew existed because you're so busy questioning reality? My invitation today to you is to get out of your fantasy world. We live in a lot of fantasies and shoulds based on crazy expectations that we learned somewhere along the way. Expectations like life should be fair, or I should be doing better than this at my age, or my life should look like this because that's what society tells me is success. But what happens when you realize those expectations are just creating more suffering for you? Do you keep on hanging on to those crazy makers and exist in misery with your life, just never measuring up to the expectations that you've been sold? What would it be like if you just gave up and stopped fighting with your reality? Think about it. How many times have you looked at a tree and wanted it to be a frog? Or seen a wave in the ocean and wondered why it had to be wet and move across the sand? Do you argue with the sun because it shines? So why then do we fight with the reality of our own lives and what's happening in them? Why do we fight with the reality of who we really are? Who we are and what's happening in our lives is exactly what it's meant to be, because it is. If it wasn't meant to be happening, if we weren't meant to be who we are, we wouldn't be, and it wouldn't be happening. Have you ever stopped to consider how completely insane it is for us to think otherwise? Think about that for a little while. We do this so often to ourselves. We put such harsh judgments on ourselves and our realities, thinking that it should be some other way. But the only peace that we can really find in life is to accept that what's happening, the way it's happening, is what is. And that's it. It's so flat. And then we have the power of choice to decide if we wish to continue in that story or if we want to write a new story from that point forward. But the first step is always to accept what is and to trust in the process that got you where you are. It doesn't mean you have to like what is or even to agree with it completely. But if it's happening, then you've got to learn to accept it before you can transform it or move past the present circumstances. Trusting the process of life is along the same lines. If we are constantly thinking things are wrong and criticizing our lives and the way they are unfolding, it allows for very little energy to actually work with the raw material of the present moment. There's just no space for creative transformation when you're so focused on the process itself being problematic. What if everything that's happening in your life is happening to give you access to everything you've ever wanted? What if inside of the present moment, live the seed of the future that you've always dreamt of? You can't know that if you keep fighting reality and doubting the process. So accepting what is by trusting the process allows you to open up to finding new solutions and innovative approaches to problems, patterns, and issues that previously you weren't even acknowledging or able to see. Step 2, one of my favorites, stop the blame game. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like if someone had just done something different for or to you, your whole life would be different? Have you ever blamed anyone else for something that's not working in your life? If you're like most people out there, you know that what's been happening to you, your shitty, miserable life, your bad job, it's not your fault. Someone else made your life miserable. It wasn't your choice. You didn't create that, right? Always got to blame someone else. People think that blaming someone else for their problems makes them feel better and gives them reasons to be how they are in life. And yet the reality is that 100% of the time, 100% of the time, blaming is simply a way to bypass personal responsibility. It keeps you disempowered, ineffective, and in the victim role. Is that really where you want to be in your life? It's incredibly self-defeating and doesn't allow you any space for being empowered or activated in any way. So how's it going with the blame game? Is it working out for you, being a victim all the time, running around, blaming everyone else? Oh, it's his fault. It's my mom's fault. If my dad hadn't done this. Oh, if my wife hadn't done this. Oh, da da da. Is it really working for you to be a victim? Or are you ready for something more powerful than letting other people's actions continue to derail and destroy your life? Listen, it's not the things that happen in your life. It's how you respond to the things that happen in your life that matters. And yeah, it's really that simple. So I'm going to give you 4 foundational steps to stop the blame game. Each one of these is a world in and of itself. Objectivity matters. There's a certain level of life mastery in taking yourself out of the picture and viewing situations from a more objective reality. It allows you to get a little bit into the world of the other person or the people that you want to blame, and it empowers you to consider other perspectives rather than just your own victimhood. When you do this as a practice, you'll find that less and less things will affect you negatively, and you'll have more peace of mind overall. You can use this on everything from the global level to your personal level. Number 2, learn from mistakes and have compassion for the mistakes of others. I mean, it pretty much says it all. We're all human. We make plenty of mistakes. Sometimes other people's mistakes impact us deeply, but we get to choose, 1, how deeply they impact us, and 2, how we interpret other people's mistakes. Do we take it personally, or can we just rise above that and allow someone to make a mistake without hating them or being the victim of it? Compassion allows us to see ourselves and others and to be more gentle with our judgments. After all, tomorrow it could be you making that mistake, and you'd want someone to be more kind and compassionate to you when you screw up too, right? Step 3, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it to be upset and take something personally that likely has nothing to do with you? Is it worth it to ruin your day, your week, your year, or worse, your life? Because someone said or did something that wasn't in alignment with your expectations of how life should be. Do you get this part? I mean, this is kind of relating us back to the first part, step 1, acceptance. So we create these whole worlds of stories on how life should be and how other people should treat us. But when we go to step 1 and we accept what is, and we realize that sometimes our expectations of how reality should be and how reality really plays out are not always exactly the same, when we can get to that point and say, okay, so I want this person to treat me like this, but they don't. So am I going to blame them and hold them, to be these evil people for the rest of my life and harbor that resentment? Or am I going to let it go, allow them to be who they are, and decide that it doesn't have to impact me that much if I don't take it personally? So you can see how all this stuff really works together. So you can let it go and consider that maybe it had nothing to do with you in the first place. Step 4, let it go. Learning to let it go is probably the hardest part of this equation at first, but like any muscle, it's going to get practiced and it's going to get stronger. So the more you let go, the more you forgive, the more you move on, the more you let go, the more you forgive, the more you move on, the stronger that muscle gets. Harboring resentments and holding on to blame, anger, hurt, and disappointment, it hurts you the most. So you really want to learn to just let it go. Imagine yourself like a beautiful duck floating around in the water, and the water gets on the duck's back and it just rolls off. That's one of the visuals I like to use. So it just doesn't have to impact you. Moving on into step 3, Commitment. Learn self-discipline. No more excuses. Oh my gosh, this one raises a lot of feathers. Commitment. I always call it the big C word because it's something that many people are challenged with and they don't even know it. They think they're really committed to something, and then when they actually get put to the test or put to the challenge of actually having to work through something, their commitment fails them. So commitment really counts. It's the number one success builder behind all success stories. People that really make it in this world, they make it because of their commitment to their vision. Most people think that commitment is scary and difficult. It's too hard. It requires you to limit yourself in some way and that you have to have it all figured out before you commit. But actually, your commitment comes first. Before you even know how it's going to happen, you commit. That brings a sense of relaxation, of vitality, and it activates a newfound freedom by increasing your focus on the desired outcome. It also inspires you to be in integrity and live a life that's powerful. When you commit, the universe naturally opens up to deliver new possibilities to you. There's a whole piece in neuroscience around this and certain parts of the brain that actually activate this. When you make a really strong decision and you get really clear about it, it creates kind of a picture, an imprint on the inside of your brain. And because that picture's on the side of your brain, that commitment's there, it starts to manifest outwardly in your world. And this is the whole, one of the main premises of the science and the art of manifestation. So commitment's actually a demonstration of love. It's a self-discipline. It means that there's no way out but through. And on the other part of commitment is releasing excuses. No more excuses. It means that you cannot have them anymore. You're not allowed to play with them anymore. And what is an excuse anyway? It's really just a lie, and we all know it's a lie. It's like when you call your friend up and you're like, "Hey, you wanna, go out and grab a drink for a happy hour?" And they go, "Oh, gosh, I'd really love to, but I really have to write this paper, and I just can't." And you can feel it. When you hear that on the phone, you know that it's an excuse and it's a put off. But it's only there to really hold you back. It keeps you stuck. It's not even based in reality. It's straight up a lie. So no more excuses means that you have to take full responsibility for the commitment of what you want to create in your life. You have to take full responsibility for that commitment that you're making to yourself and to all that it will bring to you in personal fulfillment, joy, and the ability to serve others and even improve the world. So there's really no excuse anymore for making excuses, not even one more time. Commit to that and you are well. So I just want to do a brief check-in with everyone and ask you to add some comments there to the comment box. See how you are enjoying the webinar so far. We're about halfway through the 6 steps. And I like to call the ones that we just talked about phase 1 and the ones that we're going to speak about next phase 2. And they're really like building blocks, so it's really important that you master the phase 1 elements before you really start to put into motion too quickly phase 2. They all definitely work with each other. But by practicing phase 1, you're going to start to see massive results and shifts happen in your world. And steps 4 to 6 are all about looking at where you are now and creating that plan for your future life to unfold into. But how is it going out there? How's everyone enjoying the webinar? I'm seeing some comments come in. That's great. Yep, awesome. Thanks, Alyssa. Great. Love that you guys are here. Thanks, Sandy. Great. You got a lot out of that first part, huh? Acceptance. That's great. Good job. All right, well, we're going to keep on moving. Keep those comments coming in. It's great to hear from you guys. All right, step 4, honoring the past and clearing the pathway to your future. There's a wise saying, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. Most people think that making peace with your past means just forgiving and forgetting or pretending the past didn't even happen or living in denial. But actually, none of that really even matters if you're truly looking to get unstuck and create a masterpiece out of your life. Going through all that deep processing sometimes can leave you still stuck in victimhood. The past holds the greatest pearls of wisdom for your future to be everything that you want it to be if you know how to gather those pearls properly and string them up. By looking back at the events that have happened to bring you here where you are now, you can get a pretty good idea of what's worked for you and what hasn't worked so well for you. If you go back even farther to your childhood and recall the things that you were the most fond of, the moments when you had the most peace, joy, and pleasure in your life, you're also going to find a wealth of information there on the person that you have access to bringing forth as your most empowered essence. I have a whole process I use called Diving for Pearls in one of the programs I'm going to be giving you at the end of this webinar. And it's an in-depth process of going through your life and finding the most valuable moments, resources, and lessons that you've learned and using those pearls of your existence to clear the path for the biggest contributions you can make to your future life. And on that note, it's also part of clearing the past is continuing to practice the elements and the steps of stopping the blame game, because you have to really release all that stuff to clear the path so that your past can support and empower your future rather than drag it down and be this source of discontentment and regret. So it's all about learning to use your past in a positive way as a stepping stone to really see and cultivate the higher aspects of yourself. And speaking of cultivating, we're going to now go into step 5, which is all about cultivating your dream seed. And this step is about cultivating a connection with the real fire that drives you the most when life challenges you. So most often when we're stuck in life, there's an underlying frustration that something we really want feels to be unattainable or impossible. And often, and usually I would say, people eventually give up on it, and this is when they stay stuck. Most people who are stuck and frustrated think only of their dreams as in the realm of maybe someday, and think that they have to be practical, work a job, and survive until maybe someday they have time to get to them. But guess what? Maybe someday never comes for most people. And actually, the most successful people in the world are the ones who get unstuck by using their passions and their deepest dreams to fuel them into action and to feed their fire when they're tired or feel they can't go on. And I would go a little farther to say that usually those passions and deep dreams are rooted in the diving for pearls exercise of their past and something that they were very passionate about as a child. So what do I mean? I mean that your dreams, your inspirations, your visions, they're literally the gas in your life, the fuel in the fire of your life. So to cultivate your dream seed, here's some things that you can ask yourself. Some just kind of deep self-inquiry that you can journal on or think about as you're going through your day. But ask yourself, what drives you? I mean, what really drives you? Not the money, but what's the intention behind the money? So what's your why? So some people say, oh, I go to work because I have to make money. Yeah, but why do you have to make money? Oh, I have to make money to pay bills. Okay, but why do you have to pay your bills? Oh, I have to make money to pay bills because my family needs a beautiful place to live and I need to take care of them. Okay, so why? Okay, because you love your family. So your real why isn't about making money at all. It's because you love your family, right? So it's about taking those layers one by one and going into them and getting as deep as you can into the core of your why. Other things to ask yourself, what brings you deep pleasure and joy? What scares you the most and why? Why is that so scary? Discover your strengths. Look into what you're really, really good at, what you have a natural aptitude for, and then find the threads. Connect with your childhood passions. Those tell a story. Cultivate your connections with your current reality. So what are the things that you already have present in your life that all you have to do is just sort of reach out and those things are already happening and available for you. Self-inquiry and meditation are also really powerful tools for you to get clear and to get a little deeper into what it is that you really want to be doing. So why do you want to get unstuck, right? We all say, oh, I just want to do something else. Okay, but what is it that you want to do? So these questions right here are going to help you to get really clear about what it is that you want to cultivate and create in this life and the reason that you're looking to get unstuck that's really driving you, that's really kind of that voice of discontentment. Because when we're stuck, usually there's a little voice in there that's telling us like there's got to be more, there's got to be more, is this all there is, I'm really not happy. And if you're discontent and frustrated and all that stuff, there's a reason. And so learning this practice of getting really clear with what drives you, what's your why, what's bringing you pleasure and joy, how do you get past your fears, what are those fears, and then really creating a plan, which we're going to go into next, are the ways that you're going to get yourself unstuck over and over and over again in your life. So that leads us to our final step, step 6, strategize, make a plan. So I'm sure you've heard it before. Without a plan, a dream is a castle in the sand. And I know more than anyone that when life gets challenging, when you feel depressed or down or you're stuck, it's really hard to have future vision. I totally get that. I was there. I mean, that's what it means. Being stuck means it's hard to envision a way out. And when you're stuck, spiraling downward, it seems impossible to consider planning a future or creating anything past the moment. Yet, in the making of a plan, you actually start to open yourself and your life to new possibilities just in the act of acting. It's also really helpful to help you get through the overwhelm that you can be experiencing when you're stuck. Your plan needs to take into consideration all of the now elements and to incorporate all of what you want in the future and to have steps and checkpoints along the way. And these are really important because it helps you to gauge your process. It also gives you something to shoot for so that you don't have to be thinking about the big picture all the time. You can break it down into the steps that you need to do to get there. So, for example, if what you really want to do, you want to get unstuck and you want to start your own business, then there's a whole series of steps that you take strategically and you have those planned out on a timeline so you know exactly what day, exactly what time that you're working on each piece. So there's never this question in your mind of, oh, when am I going to ever get to it? You have it planned out and then you work that plan. And that's one of the things I'm really passionate about helping people to do is to create those plans. And that's a big part of the work that I do with people. I love it. I love seeing those plans bring dreams into form. So what we've covered so far: accept what is and trust in the process. Step 2, stop the blame game. Step 3, commitment counts. No more excuses. Step 4, honoring the past to clear the pathway. Step 5, dream seed cultivation. And step 6, strategizing for success. Make a plan. So now I get to invite you to the next level. Who wants to take things to the next level? Who's ready? In the Q&A box, I want you to write, I'm ready. If you are seriously ready about getting unstuck and creating a masterpiece out of your life, write it down, share it with us. Great. Awesome. Great. So let me share with you how we're going to take that next step. And you can just go ahead and keep commenting there, keep them coming in. Beautiful. So I see those comments still rolling in. If you're seriously ready and you're really excited about taking your life to the next level, getting unstuck and creating a masterpiece with your life, I'm introducing to you an opportunity that is a one-time opportunity to join me in a really, really cool 8-week program called Activate Your Mastery. It's your life's game changer. So what this program is all about, Activate Your Mastery, it's about helping you to get unstuck, to activate your masterpiece life with a strategy that works so that you can start living a life filled with passion, purpose, and possibility today and every day forever. We're going to work on a clear exit plan to take you from stuck to unstuck, all with no risk of upset to your current life or income. So here's what you're going to get: a 21 module program called Dream It, Live It Now. This is valued at $1,997. This is a 21-day program that's going to put you on track to bringing your dreams to life every single day. It's got exercises and a workbook that goes with it, and it's a really, really powerful program. You're also going to get 6 weeks of coaching calls to master the 6 steps. That's valued at $2,997. I'm also going to give you a really cool guide. It's called the 7 Steps to Living Wild and Wise. That's a $27 value, and access to our members only Facebook group. So right now we're at a value of over $5,000. Bonus number 1, you're going to get a jump starter session. This is a one-on-one session with me. So we go deep into looking at what's going on in your current reality and how we can get you on the fastest track to get unstuck. We'll go in, find out what's in your way, and help you to create a strategy to get that stuff moving and grooving so that your life can be more of the manifestation of more of what you want, so you can be living that passionate, purposeful life right away. That Jumpstarter session is valued at $297, and I can tell you that everyone that's done it has said that it's worth twice that much. It's a really great session. So if you only got that So now you're going to get the 21-day Dream It Live It program, 6 weeks of coaching calls, the 7 steps to living wild and wise, access to our members only Facebook group, and the Jumpstarter session that's valued at $297 for a total value of $5,318. Because I want you to really get this, and I want you to really come off of this webinar and off this program really hitting it hard in your life. I'm offering VIP strategy days. Now, this is a whole day, one-on-one with me. We get together and go through your life with a fine-tooth comb, and we create your strategy. So this is going to be about midway through the program, about the time that you're starting to really get clear with your dream seed and your cultivation and all that. Then we're going to have one of these VIP strategy days. And this is a huge day, so you got to come prepared. It's a $1,497 value, and I'm going to give that to you for free in this program for the introductory offering. So it just keeps getting better. So you're going to get the 21-day Dream It Live It lifestyle program, 6 weeks of coaching calls to master the 6 steps, the 7 steps to living wild and wise, access to the members only Facebook group, a Jumpstarter session, and a VIP strategy day with me. So now we're up to a total value of $6,815. Now this is the coolest part, bonus number 3. Now this is only going to be for the first 25 people who sign up. And the reason for that is that we have limited space for this program for the lifestyle design makeover. So this is a really, really cool bonus because you get not only a complete plan and strategy for the lifestyle that you want to live, to put into place all the pieces that are really going to get you up in the morning feeling like you're living the life you really want to be living, but also you're going to get a session with our personal style consultant who does a fabulous job at helping you to really create a look and tailor make a look that fits the lifestyle that you want to create. So she'll work with you on your existing wardrobe, on signature pieces that you might need to get. She'll work with you on your hair, your makeup, how you want to present yourself in the world, and she'll help you to create a look that really embodies the lifestyle that you're moving into. It's a super, super cool bonus. It's only for 25 people because my style consultant doesn't have a lot of space in her calendar right now. So she's really, really being generous with us right now and giving us this opportunity to work with her. And then also you'll be working with me one-on-one as well. So it's a really, really cool combo. And that's for only 25 people. So you got to jump on it in order to get. So now what you're going to get is pretty amazing. You're going to get the 21-day program, 6 weeks of coaching calls, the 7 steps to living wild and wise, access to the Facebook group, a Jumpstarter session with me that's going to just put you on the fast track, a VIP strategy day with me that's going to create a complete strategy to get you from where you are now to where you want to be in the next year. And then bonus number 3, you're going to get the lifestyle design makeover with the personal style consultant from Wild and Wise and me together for a combined value of everything of $7,812. It's really kind of crazy, the offer that's being offered to you today. So really the savings that you're going to get is $6,000 really. It's quite a big savings. Because today only, to get started, it's $997 for all of that. So you're getting over $7,000, almost $8,000 of value for $997. And this is not going to be offered very long. So I really encourage you to take advantage of it because once this offer is over, it'll never again be at this price. So now you really have just 2 choices. Your first option is to do nothing and do not take the leap of faith. Keep spinning your wheels, feeling stuck and miserable in your life, and waste more of your time, wondering when it's ever going to change. Or your second option, consider this small investment today as an investment in being unstuck for the rest of your life and having the tools to transform your life from stuck to activated. And there's no risk. If you work this program and you really apply yourself and you don't get results, ask me for a refund and you will absolutely get it. So on that refund guarantee, I have a 30-day guarantee. If Activate Your Mastery does not help you to get unstuck and activate your life without quitting your job right away or losing your income, then I will refund your money. And I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes. You'll get it back. So the real question is, if you do nothing today and you don't act, what will your life look like next year or in 5 years? Will you just be another sucker waiting for maybe someday to come? Listen, this is your life. You're worth it. Let's do this. So you may be asking, why this? Why now? Why Cheri? Life experience is the most valuable tool we have to share and learn from each other. For many years, I worked with women going through unique challenges and transitions. And prior to a few years ago, the truth is that I really didn't get their world so much. I hadn't had my own breakdowns to frame my work in yet. But now, after going through my own really intense breakdowns and experiencing firsthand the impacts of menopause on the mind, body, and soul, I have a really different lens. I'm able to be a lot more compassionate, a lot more empathetic, and I think a lot more direct in what I can provide for people. Because now, after getting firsthand understanding of the unique way that mental and emotional abuse can derail you from your life's visions and dreams, and after working a job for money that I hated, I have a whole different understanding of what's needed to help myself and others through really difficult life challenges. I will share the strategy that's truly worked for me and what's worked for me for many years and other times of challenges and transitions as well. So now's the time. Your life is waiting. If you put this off today, it's only delaying your own happiness and contentment in the future. Starting today gives the universe a big fat green light to start working in your life. Listen, if I can transform my life from a miserable depression to a joyous expression, so can you. So, what I need you to do next is to click on this link and sign yourself up and get enrolled in the program. So, if you're asking yourself, oh, why do I have to do this right now? Maybe I'll just come back to it. Look, for one thing, this offer isn't going to be available for very long. I'm only doing this for a short period of time to share it with a handful of really amazing people. And now is because your life is worth it now. Listen, if you're stuck, then do you realize that your life is passing you by and you're not even living it? Do you want to be just another maybe someday person out there? Reason two is that if you don't do anything, your life is going to likely stay exactly how it is. And if that's okay with you, if you like being stuck and overwhelmed and discontent and you're not really living the life you want to be living, that's okay. But if I were you, I would really consider taking the option to just have a no risk opportunity to check out what's offered here. This program will never again be at this price, and you're going to miss out on over $2,700 of bonuses if you don't act now. So do it. Join us. Get started right now. And if you're feeling, any kind of wondering if you're actually capable of this, all I can say is I'm really not that special. I didn't have a magic wand or a silver spoon or a magic potion, but still, I've been able to create an extraordinary life out of what was once kind of a pile of poo. And you can do it too. Let me show you how. Just press the button right here and get started, and let's go on an amazing journey that's going to transform your life and get you unstuck. So again, just to review, you're going to get all of this amazing value for only $997. You're going to get the 21-day program, 6 weeks of coaching calls, Living Wild and Wise, the Facebook group, Jumpstarter session, a strategy day, the lifestyle design and style makeover. All of this, which is valued at over $7,000, almost $8,000, you're going to get all of this for $997. It's an incredible opportunity for you and really will get you started and moving forward and putting a whole new life in place and creating a whole new lifestyle that's going to you're going to love it. Beautiful. So what would it be like for you to take a stand for your life and get started now for the low price of $997 today? Remember, it's over $7,812 of value for $997. Incredible opportunity. So click the button below or sign up here, and I will be seeing you rocking your life very soon with passion, purpose, and possibility. And thank you so much for joining me today on the webinar. I hope that you got some great value out of it. I know that your time is valuable, and I also know that you deserve to have it all in this life. So get started now, join us, and I look forward to connecting with you more in the Facebook group and some of our other platforms. And I didn't forget, for those of you who stuck around to the end, there's a link here where you can get those first 5 modules of the Dream It, Live It program to check it out. with no risk, no cost. Enjoy it, click the link, and get yours. Thanks so much. This is Cheri Shanti from Wild and Wise saying have a beautiful day, fill it with passion, purpose, and possibility because love wants to live you.